Well, hello everyone. My name is Steven Ziegler and I am with the Crafty Situation and Mosaic Moments, and we are so excited to be here with you for the final volume event of 2021. And today we're going to be working with one of our brand new die sets, the Horizon 4x4 and the Horizon 2x4 die set. So I can't wait to explain to you a little bit more about this die set. We just came out with it. It's brand new to the Horizon collection. And I'm also going to be doing a demonstration and finishing up a 12 by 12 scrapbook page. So in just a minute, I'm going to go ahead and point my camera downwards. We'll go ahead and get started. I'll show you some Horizon pages and kind of a little bit about the Horizon collection in case this is your first deep dive into it. And then we will work on completing the page that I have gotten started on. If you are joining us live and you have any questions while our presentation is ongoing, please feel free to chat with us. I'm going to be joining the chat, and also Beth is here to chat with you and answer any questions that you may have, or if you get lost as I'm going through the demonstration, she'll be able to help you out. All right, so let's go ahead and point my camera downwards and get started. Okay, everybody should be able to see my work surface now, and if you ordered our Craft Along kit, what it came with is it came with the Horizon 4x4 and 2x4 die set, which I have here on the left-hand side, and it came with a pack of grid paper. One of the questions that I got numerous emails and messages on Facebook from people asking if this die set was the same thing as the other Horizon sets that we had come up with or released in years past. And it is a little bit different, and I wanted to show you what that difference was to kind of explain to you the different Horizon families. So when we came out with the Horizon die set a number of years ago, and I think we're going back to 2017 or 2018 now, this was the basic Horizon page. And what the basic Horizon page is it's got a larger area, a larger square area in the middle for a photograph, and then it's basically got 8 areas on the side for a photograph or for photographs. And what the 4 sides, the 4 corners, and the center do is they make this large circle here. So that's Horizon. Horizon's always the circle here. And then what we've done as we've moved away from this basic set is we've just changed how the pictures are configured, or how large or small the pictures are that are in the middle that make up this circle. So in the basic Horizon, you've got the square in the middle, 4 side pictures, and then 4 smaller corner pictures. If you take a look at what came out next then, we've got the Horizon 2x4 die. And what the 2x4 die is, it used the original Horizon set, so that Horizon set that I just showed you with the drafts, it used that set, and it just subbed out on 2 of the sides a smaller piece here for 2 of the pictures. So the left and the right here are a little bit smaller than the top and bottom sides here, and that allowed us to use a full 4x6 photo in the middle. So that was Horizon 2x4 that came out that allowed you to do that. But again, still part of that original Horizon family, you needed to use the original Horizon die set to create this page. Then what we came out with is we came out with the Horizon 4x5. And what the 4x5 did is it took that square or that rectangle picture out of the middle, and instead it allowed you a larger space on each of the sides to use 2 larger photographs. So you can see here the sea turtle swimming with the blue background here in the water. This is where we've kind of substituted those sides and that middle square, that middle rectangle out to create 2 larger sides here. But the 3 top areas here, the 2 corners and the center, and the 3 bottom areas here, the 2 corners and the center, are still using that original Horizon die set, and then adding in the Horizon 4x5 die set. Now, that completes our Horizon die family sets with the Horizon die set. Now I want to show you the Horizon 4x4. It's a little bit different than what we've done before with the Horizon die set. This die set can stand alone. So this is a page made just with the Horizon 4x4 and 2x4 set, and you'll see it looks a little bit different. If I bring the drafts picture back up, it looks a little bit different than what we had on the drafts, in the sense that here the corners are larger and then the sides in the middle are a bit smaller. So just a little bit different variation on that circle. This is using the original Horizon die set, and this is using the new 4x4 set that we're working with today. So I wanted to show you that just so you can kind of see the difference. I like having the different horizon sets because I like the circle, I like the concept of that, but I like being able to use different dies depending on how I've taken my pictures. Sometimes I'll have pictures that lend well to the original horizon die set because they're vertical and horizontal, and they work well like if I want to do side pictures like this, and then I've got just smaller areas of corners to fill in. Sometimes I've got pictures that look like this, where they lend well to having 4 deeper corners, and then they're more narrow vertically or horizontally, and they work really well with this die set or this look. I like the Horizon 4x4 set as well because what we've included in and what I'm going to be using today is, if you see this polka dotted piece here, we've included in a layering piece that allows you to add an extra layer to this corner area here, and it just gives it a different feel or a different look than what the original Horizon die set look like. So we're going to be working with that today, but I wanted to spend just those few minutes and kind of introduce you from this was Horizon die set, this is now the Horizon 4x4. So if you're watching and you haven't gotten this Crafty box yet, this Craft Along kit, this is completely separate from the Horizon die family. You don't need to own any of the previous Horizon dies in order to be able to use this die set and to create a beautiful layout with it. So this is the layout that we showed, just kind of the basic Horizon 4x4 and 2x4 set. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use all 4, there's actually 5, all 5 of the dies that are in this die set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish a holiday page that I started. And this is the holiday page that I started. This is using fresh malt grid paper. So I'm using fresh malt paper. And what I've done is I've already finished basically 3/4 of my page here. So let me show you the dies that came in this package here and what we're going to use to finish this top left-hand side. So in the Horizon die set, you get 5 dies, and I will lay these out here and then I'll go over kind of what each one does. So here are the 5 dies that you get in the set. This die here that's kind of got these thicker sides here, this is what cut the red piece in each of these 4 corners. So I'm going to use this and I'm going to cut an additional red piece that's going to go in this top left-hand corner here, but that's the red piece that cut these 4 corners here. And then remember I said we've got a layering piece now, and what I meant by that is this is pattern cardstock here. It just has cute gingerbreads and mittens and a gingerbread house and says Merry Christmas on it. So what I'm able to do is take my pattern cardstock and use this die and cut a piece that actually goes nicely on top and creates a layer and then retains this nice, in this case, red border around my solid cardstock, just to kind of accent the page a little more. I love this die. I think it was a really neat die to include in the set. The third die that we have then is my die that's actually cut my photographs here. It's that quarter circle piece, and that quarter circle piece is what I use to cut each of these 3 photos and what I'll cut the 4th photo with to complete my top left-hand corner. And then finally, the last 2 dies, what they do is they're going to cut the sides. So this die is going to cut the large area here that I've used to cut pattern paper. It's cut this area here to be able to fill in each of the 4 sides. And then this smaller piece replicates the top of this die here. And what we've done there is we've used it to cut the red pieces that go around the outside here. So that's where each of the 5 dies are and how they're used on the page here. And like I said, what I'm going to do is spend the next majority of our time, and I'm going to work on finishing this top portion and cutting with these dies so you can see exactly how it works. And then what you can do is, both as you're following along if you'd like to, but then after our craft along is over, it will allow you to create and finish your page. Because what we're going to do is we're going to work on a corner, and we're going to work on one of the sides, and then in order to finish your page, all you're going to need to do is replicate that 3 more times each. 3 more for each corner, and then 3 more times for each of the sides, and then filling in the middle, and you'll have a completed and a finished layout. So it's just a matter of repetition. So let's get started. Let me grab my die cut machine and let me show you how I'm going to do the top left corner and the top center side piece here. All right, so I've got my die machine here, and I'm using a Big Shot machine, and I've got my platform and my sandwiches here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with each of my dies, and I'm going to cut, I've got some pre-cut pieces over here. I'm going to work to cut those out using my dies. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut my red corner piece, that corner red piece up there, that's going to serve as my top corner. I'm going to use my largest die in the package. That's going to cut that corner piece, if you remember, that lines up with my grid line that gives that nice background. Simultaneous in doing that, I'm going to use the smallest die in the package, and what that's going to do is that's going to cut my top center side piece, and I'll show you where that's going to go in just a second. But I'm going to cut with both of these dies using this red cardstock here in order to get started here. So I'm just going to run that through my machine and then grab those cuts here. And Horizon's really nice, especially if you're getting started with mosaic moments and you're moving beyond the basic squares and rectangles. I like it because it produces bigger pieces, so you're not having to worry about frames and things like that. The pieces that it cuts out are a little bit larger and a little bit easier to work with if you're just getting started and want some practice. But you can see here how I've cut my top left corner piece out, and I've cut my top center side piece out using the largest and the smallest dies in the package. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my accent paper, and I've already got a piece of the pattern paper pre-cut. What this accent paper is going to do, and the die that I'm going to use, is it's going to layer on top of that red, just like I've done around the edge of my layout. So I'm going to place my die onto my die cut machine on my pattern paper, and just kind of get it where I want it. I think I want to have the little gingerbread person showing here, so with the spatula and some of the cupcakes. So I just want to lay out exactly where I want it. And I like this paper because we had pictures of making cookies, of making gingerbread cookies. So I thought that this was nice and appropriate for a holiday or festive layout here. I don't know if you all make holiday cookies. I'm not a great baker, so I don't make too many of them, but I enjoy eating them. I think that's the most important part of the fun, is eating them. So I've got my I've got my corner here with my pattern paper, that accent piece or that layering piece that was cut using this layering die. So that's what I just used to cut that. So we can place that to the side now. So we've got 3 of our pieces cut. The 4th piece that I'm going to cut is actually going to be from the same pattern cardstock. And what I'm going to cut from that here is I'm really looking to cut this rectangular piece here. That's what's going to be used to accent my sides in the middle. So if I move my machine away, I'm cutting this piece here for this top area to be able to use to accent each of my sides. So that's what I'm working on next. I've got it placed where I want it onto my platform, and we'll run it through my machine now. And we've run it through. And so as I move it back here, I'm going to show you, whoops, slipping platform here. I'm going to show you exactly the piece I want. You can see this is my scrap that's left over here. I'll place that to the side. I'm actually looking for this piece here. It's got that nice little rounded edge on the top. And then this little side piece I actually don't need right now. I can use it for another layout if I want, so I can set it to the side. So that's my 4 pieces of cardstock that I need to complete my top corner of my layout. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use this quarter pie or quarter circle shape, and I'm actually going to cut one of my photos that's going to serve as the photo in the top left-hand corner. Now the only thing to tell you when you're working with this die is you're going to want to have your photos in front of you, and you're going to, before you cut any of your pictures, like as you can see in my layout here, I've already cut 3 out of the 4 pictures, but before I cut any of the photos, I actually went through all of my photos with this quarter circle die, and I made sure that I was using it in the most appropriate corner. Because as you can see, you're going to lay it onto your picture, and you want to make sure that whatever you want your subject to be is going to appear in this quarter circle. You're going to find with some pictures that sometimes it's better to have the quarter circle laid out like this. Sometimes it's better to have it laid out where the corner is in the top left. Other times it's kind of like this. So you want to kind of pre-plan that before you get started, because if you just start cutting, you may get to the last picture and you may say, oh shoot, it doesn't work this way, it would have worked better this way, and by that time you've already cut your other 3 photos and you either need to reprint your pictures or you need to use this final picture in a way that you may not have planned or wanted to. Fortunately, I took my own advice and I already had the idea that I was going to use the quarter circle in kind of the way that I'm showing you here. I knew I was going to miss a little bit of the decorating, but it worked out kind of that I could see my cookie tray with the cookies being decorated. I wasn't cutting off too much of my hands here, so I liked that look. This was the best way for this picture to work given my other 3 photos. So I made sure that worked out ahead of time before I went on camera. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run that through my machine and grab my photo out. Now, if you're brand new to Mosaic Moments, you're going to see that I used my die to cut my photo, and that's a really important thing. As we make all of our pages and all of our cards, everything that you see, we use our dies not only to cut our solid and our pattern cardstock, but we also use our dies to cut our photos. So I like to say that our system, our Mosaic Moment system, is a no fussy cutting system. While using our snips and cutting out can be a lot of fun, sometimes you want to have a no scissors day, and this makes it really nice and easy because our dies not only, like I said, cut our cardstock, but they also cut our photos. So with that said and done, what we've done now is we have done all of our die cutting. So I'm going to just get my machine in place and get that put back down to the side of me. And now I'm ready to finish my layout. So what I've done here is I've used all 5 of the dies that were in the Horizon 4x4 die pack, and this is going to create the top left corner and then this top center side. So as you're going through, we're going to finish the page. We're going to adhere it down onto our grid paper now. But after we leave you from this demonstration, you would follow those same cuts with those same 5 dies 3 more times to do your top right and then your right center, your bottom right and then your bottom center, your bottom left and then also your left center. And that's going to help you create or finish your layout. Now, if you didn't want to use pattern paper in the centers here and the center sides, you can also use photographs like I did here. I just wanted to show you a little bit of a different way, and I'll put these side by side when we're finished, but I just wanted to show you a little bit different of a way to complete your layout. So it's now time to start gluing. I'm using repositionable adhesive from Scrapbook Adhesive by 3L. I like using that because when we work with our grid paper, the goal on our grid paper is to just cover that grid without going over. Most of you will not be on live video like I am today with you, but you will be in a craft room and anything could happen. Kids could interrupt, dog or cat could jump up on the table, or your lighting might not be that great and you could miss the mark just by a little bit. And what repositionable adhesive allows you to do is when you're trying to line up with those grid lines without going over, if you happen to make a mistake, it allows you to pull this element back up and put it back down where it was supposed to be without either destroying the element or destroying your grid paper underneath. A note about our grid paper is that we use it for all of our designs. So all of our samples that I showed to you today, and if you look on our website and see samples on our website, and then all of the samples at our in-person booth, they're made with a piece of grid paper underneath. And I like using the grid paper because it helps to align up everything, and it keeps everything aligned vertically and horizontally with that nice, even 1/8 of an inch spacing in between. And that is what is alluring to the eye. That's what's nice and soothing to the eye, is that everything is spaced. And that's how we can make these really cool designs like the circle shape in the middle and make sure that everything stays nice and lined up with that even spacing. So grid paper, 12 by 12 size, so standard scrapbook page size, and it does come in over 100 different colors. We will have a sale at the end of this Facebook Live. So if you're interested in picking up some extra colors, we do have a few available. We're sold out of a good amount of it. We had a big sale that we just had last weekend, but we are extending some of those sales to you. But if you want to pick up some of your favorite colors, you can shop online with us. What I've done is I've glued down the 2 red solid cardstock pieces, and now before I glue anything else down, I'm just putting on that layering piece that I cut with the pattern cardstock with the die that's used to create that layering piece on top. So you can see how I've got that corner now done and layered. And now the only thing that I need to do is add my cardstock, my pattern cardstock piece here to the center and add my photograph, and we will have completed this page. So I hope you've enjoyed working with this Horizon 4x4 set. And again, once we're finished with the page, I will kind of go over with you exactly what you need to do to, if you're working along with us and you would have had one corner completed, you might want to say to us, well, how in the world do I finish the rest of the page? We'll guide you through that in just a second here. I just want to get this photograph line down. And what you're going to see I've done here is as I'm putting this photograph onto my grid paper, I'm butting it up against this red cardstock. I don't want there to be a space in between, not even a little itty bitty space. I want it to be exactly abutted to that red cardstock. And then that's going to keep everything nice and straight and that nice spacing in between there. I'm going to do the same thing with this final piece of pattern cardstock. What you'll want to be careful of is you're going to see that there is a straight edge and then there's also a little bit of a rounded edge that our die cut for us. You want to make sure that you're taking the little bit of a rounded edge, you're butting that up against the red cardstock, you're aligning it to the left-hand grid line, and you're pressing down and gluing down. And that's going to end up keeping that nice spacing or that gutter left, right, and bottom, and working on making sure everything's lined up and creates a nice rectangle there. So this is my completed page here. What I've elected to do is include 4 larger photographs in each of the 4 corners. You can certainly vary that if you want to. You could have 8 photographs if you really wanted to. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4 more photos, like I did in my rock climbing layout, if you'd like to do that. I kind of like this look. I like the pattern paper. Some people will ask us, since we're building everything off of our grid paper, how do I use my pattern paper? And you can see this is a really good use of it. And I tell people at our in-person shows, I probably use more pattern paper now than I used to when I was doing traditional scrapbooking, just because I find so many areas on the grid that I can add it and make it look really cool. So what we did here, if you remember when we got started, is this top left-hand corner and this top center piece wasn't finished, and we just finished this. We cut it with our 5 dies that are in our Horizon 2x4 die set. So what you would need to do to finish your page is you're going to repeat this same process. Cutting with the same dies that we did, we're going to cut it 1, 2, 3 times more to complete your other 3 corners and 3 side pieces. That's going to complete those, so you're going to use the quarter circle die to cut your 3 photographs. Remember, after you plan it, you're going to use your corner die to cut your red cardstock and that layering die piece to cut the pattern paper, whatever pattern you choose if you want to layer on top. And then you're going to use your 2 side die pieces in order to cut the red area that I'm showing here, and then also this pattern cardstock rectangle, or 4 additional photographs if that's what you choose to put in each of these 4 side pieces. It's really up to you. The last thing I did, just because I thought it was very appropriate, was I added my little gingerbread man here to the center. This was cut with Ginger Friends. It's one of our die sets. It measures 2 squares by 2 squares on our grid. So I cut him from that die, and then I decided to place him in the middle. So this is our finished layout here. Again, the Horizon 4x4 set, it will make this complete page. Again, you won't need the regular Horizon set to accompany along with this. It will make this complete page. If you are interested in this set, if you liked crafting along with us, or you wanted to see this ahead of time, number one, the video is already pre-recorded. It's going to be available on Facebook indefinitely. So if you wanted to purchase the Horizon 4x4 and 2x4 Craft Along Crafty box, you still have the opportunity to. It comes with the die set and a grid, a pack of grid paper, a 6-pack of grid paper of, I think there's 21 different colors, so you can choose your favorite color. You'll be able to use your solid cardstock and pattern cardstock and your photos to go ahead and to create along with us. If you've already picked up the Crafty box or you're looking to shop for other things, I wanted to let you know about some sales that we have going on. So our volume virtual event specials, you're going to go to a craftysituation.com to shop. And once you're on our website, you're going to take a look at our dies, our grid paper, tools, and things like that. You're going to, at checkout, use the coupon code HOLIDAYS. So it has an S at the end, HOLIDAYS. You're going to use that coupon code at checkout, and you're going to receive 20% off all of our regular price dies, grid paper, grid cards, tools, and adhesives. So, and I will apologize in advance. I know a few things are sold out. We will be restocking after the holidays, so this is kind of our final hurrah for the holidays. But 20% off all of our regular price dies, grid paper, grid cards, tools, and adhesives. And we will give you free shipping for orders over $75. So, before we go, let me bring my camera back down. I want to show you our completed holiday page again, and I want to show you our completed rock climbing page again. So you should be able to see that now. So this is our completed holiday page, completed rock climbing page. Similar look, but actually a little bit different. Uses of pattern paper instead of photos here. Layering here in the corners, where here we kind of kept a little bit blank because we liked the texture of the paper that we used here. This has 8 photos plus a little 9th that you could actually do if you wanted to, where this is using 4 larger photos just in the corners. As we wrap up our Facebook presentation for today and our volume event for today, I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this craft along in this demonstration using our Horizon 4x4 and 2x4 set. In this last volume presentation for 2021, and also with November, with Thanksgiving coming up in just a few days, we wanted to say thank you to all of our loyal customers and to our fans that have tuned in on both Volume and Oak and visited us in person this year. We've had a great amount of fun. We wanted to say thank you for your support and your patronage during the COVID-19 pandemic and joining us online for the events that you have. We would not be here without you. So we wanted to say thank you for that. We look forward to and are excited for the new year to come. We hope to get to more in-person events, including heading out of our immediate driving area and getting to some farther away events on the West Coast and in Texas and things like that. So we're really excited for that. On behalf of Beth, who's typically joined me in the studios, Cindy, Lorena, Rodrigo, Hallie, all of the folks that join us at the shows, we wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Have a happy, happy Thanksgiving. Have happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever that you'll be celebrating. All of our sales that are on our website are going to be good through November 30th at 11:59 Eastern Time. And we'll put that sale page back up for you so that you have the coupon code and everything. Again, thank you so much, and thank you to Kate Griswold and her team with the Great Lakes Mega Meet for putting on these volume events. And we will see you again soon. Thank you so much.